Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Miguel back again with another video, and today I have a very interesting phone. I have the RedMagic 8S Pro in my hand, and the reason why this is interesting is not because this is a monster when it comes to the specs. This is a gaming phone, however, but the chipset is something that I found very interesting, and I'll discuss that in a little bit later. Now, the parent company of RedMagic is ZTE, and if you guys don't know who that is the company that makes the under-display cameras for phone manufacturers. ZTE, I believe, was one of the first companies that came up with that technology and that innovation, and the RedMagic, pretty much all the RedMagic phones have that technology as well, including the one that I'm reviewing today. Now, if you look at the box, you can tell immediately that this is a gaming phone. We'll quickly look at some of the specs here. So we have 16 gigs of RAM with 512 gigs of internal storage. We also have Snapdragon's 8 Gen 2 chip, and I know that I mentioned that this is a special chip, and it is, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. We also have a 6.8-inch AMOLED display. We have shoulder triggers. We have a cooling system with a dedicated fan that runs at 20,000 RPMs, and then we also have a 6,000 milliampere battery. Let's get into the phone and see what comes inside the box. All right, so we have the booklet up front over here, and we have the SIM pin. We have some paperwork as well, and we also have a plastic cover. This is a hard plastic cover, and this is open from all sides. The reason being that this phone has gaming triggers on the side, so it's open so that it doesn't obstruct that, and it's also transparent so that it doesn't really hide the beauty of the phone. We also have this little bit of paperwork over here, which has some QR codes. We have the phone itself down here, which I'll take out. And we also get a 65-watt charger inside the box, which is a pretty hefty one, well-built charger. And we also get a red USB-C to USB-C cable, and red, obviously, it kind of tells you that this is a gaming phone. Now, looking at the phone itself, this comes in the platinum color, and this is a full metal body construction. Normally, ZTE makes the RedMagic in a kind of like a transparent color, so it's basically a clear glass phone. The previous RedMagics have come in a clear transparent back, which shows you the innards of the phone. This one is a little bit different, so this comes with an all aluminum frame, and the back as well is aluminum. This is not just any regular aluminum, this is aircraft grade aluminum, so it's pretty strong, and then it also has kind of like a little bit of a pattern. But even though it's not really a shiny finish, but it is prone to fingerprints quite quickly. If we look at the overall design of the phone, we have a 3.5 millimeter audio jack over here. We have one of the speakers on top, and we also have the microphone. On this side is where the fun begins. We have the shoulder triggers on this side. We also have the fan, and if I go ahead and unlock this, you can see, I don't know if you guys can tell, but you can see that the fan is already is turning, and it's an RGB fan, so it has a little bit of a lighting. You can also see some of the lighting on this side. This is the power button that's on this side, and we also have the game mode trigger that if you turn this on, this immediately then takes you into the gaming mode, where you then have your games, and you can start playing directly by just triggering this little button. On the bottom, we have the USB-C port. We have the SIM slot as well, and I think this comes with I'm not sure if this comes with dual SIM support. I'm gonna check that real quick. Yeah, so you have dual SIM support, which is good, but you don't have a dedicated memory option, so you don't get extra memory. 512 is the one is limited. And what else do we have here? We also have, the second speaker, the set of speakers. So we have two speakers, one on the top, one on the bottom. On this side, we have the volume button, and we also have another outlet for heat dissipation. The back is a little bit boring, I would say, especially the cameras I mean, it's like there was almost no effort made on designing the cameras. And it almost seems like they were just simply placed there. They almost look like buttons that you can just take off and put back. So that's a little bit of a criticism that I have. We have some of the designing over here, and the RedMagic logo that you see over here, alongside with the ice cooling system, actually lights up sometimes. So we have that. On the front, we have the display, which is a 6.8-inch display. This is a 120 hertz display. It's an adaptive display. It's not an LTPO display. So it can go to 60, 90 and 120, or if you want to set it at auto, and depending on the display or what you're doing, it's going to set itself and adapt accordingly. This does not have HDR support, which is one of the criticisms that I have. But apart from that, the display is pretty bright. And this is actually a Gorilla Glass display. So the glass on the front is Gorilla Glass 5. If we talk about the resolution, this comes with the 2480 resolutions, which has a pixel density of 400 ppi. And I want to show you guys the front display. So I'm trying to look at a neutral or a light background. So as you guys can see over here, that's the camera, but it's nearly undetectable. Okay, so I was trying to show you guys the front display and the camera. So you can see it has minimal bezels, and that's one of the greatest things about this phone. And aesthetically, it looks so good because it's like a perfect rectangle, and it's such a good phone if you want to game on this, because it really helps you grip the phone in a good way. And it has minimal bezels, and you can see the front display. This doesn't show the camera. It does a pretty good job at hiding the camera. So that's one of the reasons that this phone is so great. And you can see that, I don't know if you guys can tell, but that's where the camera is. If you turn it at an angle, you may be able to see it, but not really. If we talk about the peak brightness, this is advertised to go up to 1300 nits, but we found it limiting at around 800 nits, which was almost half. I don't know why they advertised 1300. 800 was the maximum that we could get out of it, which is okay, I guess. You're not really going to be playing this phone in the direct sunlight, so I guess it's fine. If we talk about the battery, this comes with the massive 6000 milliampere battery, which is huge, and it gave us an endurance rating of around 132 hours, which is very good. On top of that, this comes with a 45-watt charger, which charges the 6000 milliampere battery pretty quickly. So this was able to charge the phone in around 35 minutes from 0 to 100%. And from a 15-minute standpoint, then it charged it to around 55%, which is pretty decent in my opinion. Now, if we talk about the performance, this comes with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, but that's not just any chip. Obviously, it's going to be an overclocked chip, but again, this is not just any chip. This is actually the same exact chip that is being used on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And I know that Galaxy usually reserves specific chips, and Qualcomm makes specific chips which are made for Galaxy, labeled for Samsung, but this is actually the exact same chip that's being used in the S23 Ultra. And if you guys have been following me, I actually spoke about this in a previous video, and that kind of tells us that there's a possibility that next year by this time we may see the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, which is the made for Galaxy chip, rumored to be coming in the S24 Ultra, be used in phones like this as well, which is obviously a good thing. Now, how much of an advantage does that actually provide? Well, not really a lot. Performance wise, it gives you about a 5% boost, and in GPU performance about a 6% increase or a better performance. And if we look at the Antutu benchmark test at 16 gigs of RAM, this gave us around 1.59 million points on Antutu, which is amazing. It's top of the line. And I was about to say that this is the most powerful phone in the world right now if I hadn't made this video today. If I'd made this video before the iPhone 15 Pro came out, which now comes with the A17 Pro chip, I would have said that this is the most powerful phone right now in existing. But it looks like that's not the case anymore, because the A17 Pro is just at another level. Now, if you look at the gaming mode and if we talk about the performance, one of the things that I just don't understand is why such a capable phone is still providing us with the 60 FPS when it comes to frame rate, especially playing games like PUBG and Call of Duty and other games. Even though they provide us with the option of 120, and this phone is perfectly good for playing games at 120 FPS, for somehow or with some reason it's actually it limits it, and that has to do with Android limitations. It's not really a phone flaw, so I'm not going to blame the phone for that. This has to do something with Android. We've seen this in other Android phones. These games are capable at playing at 120 FPS. The only game that actually played at over 60 FPS was Call of Duty, which played at 90 FPS, not even 120. So that's a little bit of a criticism that I had. I mean, these phones are perfectly capable, but because of the operating system, which is not really that good, we are limited with those factors. And one more criticism that I have over here is that yes, this is using Android 13, but the skin that this is being used is very loosely translating from Chinese to English. So there's a lot of mistakes. You see a lot of different things that are loosely translated in English from Chinese. So that kind of puts you off a little bit and kind of creates a little bit of a bad impression. The cooling system on the back here, as I mentioned, is a dedicated fan. This runs at 20,000 RPM, which is great. It kind of gets noisy a little bit sometimes. And it actually does a pretty good job at heat dissipation. Now, RedMagic claims that Ice 12 is the new cooling feature that they have, although this is not really newer than the last RedMagic, but they do have a graphene coating under the display, which is used for better heat dissipation. And it does such a good job that it retains about 88% of the CPU performance. The only thing is that because this is an all-metal body, it actually gets pretty warm and it feels warmer than usual. So it kind of makes you think that this is not doing a good job at heat dissipation. That's actually not right. It's doing a good job, but with an all-metal body, you're gonna expect the phone to be hotter than usual. All right, now talking about the cameras, the back camera on this is actually a pretty good one, and I didn't expect this coming from a gaming phone because gaming phones don't really focus on cameras, but this one has. Specifically talking about the main camera, the rest of the cameras are pretty bad. I'm just gonna straight up say that. The main camera is actually a Samsung sensor. What is the name of the sensor? GN5, sorry about that, I had to look it up. GN5 Samsung is the name of the sensor that comes with it, and this is a 50 megapixel camera. It's a pretty decent camera, as I said. It is a huge upgrade from the last RedMagic as well. And again, I have to say that I did not expect that from a gaming phone, but I'm glad to see that they're also focusing in this area, which sometimes can be crucial. The rest of the cameras is an 8 megapixel ultra wide, which is honestly not that good. And then we also have a 2 megapixel macro, which might as well just not have it at all. And I already talked about the front camera, which is a 16 megapixel under display camera, which again is much better than last year's as well. This will record at 8K as well in 30 FPS and 4K in 60 and 30 FPS. Now coming down to the price, this phone is a gaming phone, and obviously it's gonna cost you a little bit, but not that much. I found the price to be actually very reasonable. This starts at around 650 euros. And if you translated that into dollars, that's nearly $700. If you translate that into dirhams, that's between 25 to 2,700 dirhams, depending on where you get it. This is not really available in the UAE, but if you get your hands on it, I would expect that much of a price. And again, not bad for a gaming phone. It also has a great value for money at 2,500 dirhams. It's really not a lot of money for a phone that provides you flagship level performance nearly on every side of things, apart from maybe the 8 megapixel camera on the back. But apart from that, this is a pretty good phone. Design wise, it looks very awesome. It's an aesthetically very pleasing phone to look at, to hold to, and it also has a really good feeling. So yeah guys, that's my review on the RedMagic 8S Pro. Let me know what you guys think. Would you consider buying this phone, or would you buy something else like maybe ROG's latest phone that's out there, which is kind of like a competitor to this phone? So let me know your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.